Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Welcome back to our discussion about the time value of money in Islamic banking and finance. We were earlier looking at the issue of profit creation in Islamic banking when most of the product offering are based on debt financing, such as murabahah and tawaruk or ijarah thumma al-bay', and therefore the earning are coming from the debt obligation in home financing, personal financing, and so on. And this debt obligation, of course, will involve the payment of debt over time. And because of the debt obligation to be fulfilled over time, therefore the issue of time value of money need to be reviewed here, so that in Islamic finance we will not be confused regarding the use of time value of money as the justification for the payment of interest. As we know that interest is prohibited in Islam, and Allah has prescribed al-bay' to replace interest, and therefore the al-bay' because al-bay' in the prevailing practice is undertaken within a banking framework, and therefore the al-bay' is not a sale where payment are made on the spot, but it is al-bay' where payment are made over time by way of deferred payment through the murabahah and tawaruk transaction, and therefore the profit generated by Islamic banking is still derived from deferred payment, and therefore time value of money is clearly implicated, and therefore we need to understand further how can we treat TVM, whether it is Shariah compliant or it is permissible. Okay, so if we look at the slide over here, for example, if we are given $1,000 money as a gift, then the question here is when do we want to spend it? So it is very simple question. So we are not talking about making a loan or getting a loan, but simply our spending preference, right? So the $1,000 is what we are having. So we have to decide whether to spend it or to save it, right? If we want to spend it, then we will spend it and we can derive some utility from the spending. So if we don't spend it and we want to spend it in the future, then we will save it, and therefore maybe deriving some utility from the saving. So if people prefer to spend it today, then they are categorized under the positive time preference behavior. So meaning that they prefer to spend the $1,000 today because today is very clear and we have full information how to spend our money, and there is no uncertainty with regards to consumption, and therefore people would like to readily enjoy the money through consumption. And again, they may feel that tomorrow is uncertain, and anything can happen tomorrow, and the money will not be spent, and therefore there is no utility derived from saving. So that is positive time preference. The other one is the people who prefer to spend tomorrow or in the future. So we are categorized under people having negative time preference. And of course, again, some people prefer the future because the future provides more security when we save our money for future consumption. So that security will provide happiness to these people, and therefore the preference to spend in the future have some reason, some rationale, and so we have people who naturally prefer to spend in the future, and that is negative time preference. And there are some people who don't care, whether today or tomorrow the consumption provide the same level of happiness, and therefore they are categorized under the neutral time preference. So generally, there is no evil about time value of money, because this is essentially a behavioral phenomenon that most of us will have to decide, to do it or not to do it. And it is a statement of our spending preference. It is a law in nature that we generally are guided, in making our spending. And in Islam, I would say it is sunnatullah, it is a fitrah, that whenever we are confronted with a decision to spend now and tomorrow, we will do it accordingly based on the conception of time value of money. It is only when the TVM is used to justify the payment of interest, then it will become an issue in Islamic finance. And if we were to use TVM as a basis for the payment of profit in Islamic banking, then that issue need to be further elaborated and discussed, so that the position of TVM in profit creation in the Islamic banking business is properly handled, and therefore we have clarity to what extent TVM is allowed or not allowed in Islam. And therefore we know very well that in the interest based bank, they basically use time value of money, which is basically the positive time preference, as the basis for charging interest on loan. And this coming from from, for example, the time preference theory of interest forwarded by Bowen-Bowack, the abstinence theory or the ague theory. So they have quite a number of theory to explain why interest is rewarded to the lending party, whereas in Islam we do not have any theory about the charging of profit from Rabah and from Tawaru or from other debt financing. The payment of our debt obligation is based on contract, and because the contract is based on the sale price, and the sale price consists of the cost of the facility amount and the profit margin, and when the sale is accorded Shariah compliant status, and therefore the income generated from the sale is assumed to be halal and Shariah compliant. So that is the position from the fiqh perspective. But from the economic perspective, we are still trying to find some basis for the collection of profit based on time value of money. Okay, so I think we can stop here. Inshallah, we will further continue and look at some issue where we can compare TVM in conventional loan, and also from the Murabahah and other Islamic financing product. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Please don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.